Hi everyone, it's Helenique Arjuru for the Women of Truth conferences, seminars, special events. We are planning some conferences in Holland, Cyprus, South Africa, maybe even some art exhibitions with some jewelers, handmade artistry, and really supporting women entrepreneurs. And that's because we really believe that the inner growth is really what influences the outer growth. You need to express your own value, your own power, and your own gift here to the world in order to feel like you've already completed this life. And with us today, we have a woman that is so exemplary of this, but also teaching and supporting so many students and women in her own network that she developed to actually learn this very profound art of business. Like, how do we actually make ourselves successful in life, doing what we absolutely are gifted to do and being really successful at it. So I'm very excited. I met her at the Women's Economic Forum. We struggled for months to come together, and it's finally pushed on through like an arrow that knows its target. We are here together. And this is Ruby, and she's actually based in Switzerland, and she is, in fact, a professor. She has, in fact, a doctorate in business already. She is also carrying an MBA and a professor now teaching business to MBA students. She teaches also something called BBA, not sure what that is, she'll tell us, and doctorate students. And her full name is RUBY BAKSHI KHURDI. She's also the mother of, I think it's 2 beautiful children, and we are going to find out so much more about how we can all learn from the wisdom, experience, and knowledge of this great woman. As we said before, we just in passing sometimes tune in to these beautiful women, and this was the case with myself and Ruby. So welcome. It's a very warm and wonderful welcome to you, Ruby. Thanks so much for making the time.
Thank you so much, Helenique. It's really my pleasure to be talking to you today after such a long and detailed time that we waited for the day.
I know. Yeah, it's amazing. And we're quite close by, which is also nice. So we've been talking about the heat wave in Europe, and coming to you now in a nice time zone. It's all good. So I'm really happy to spend this time with you. I wanted to know if you could start off by sharing with us, what is one of the most life-changing experiences that obviously paved the way for you to push on through and to become this really powerful educator in the world? What would you say really launched you into becoming successful in your life? And what was the biggest lesson that you learned?
To start off, it's really amazing. When I came here, I was not prepared to see Switzerland in this way, because coming from India, it's very different, where you are pampered, you're always surrounded by people, you have your strong family, you have your strong circle of friends who are there for you. And coming to a country where I had particularly nobody, no friend circle, no family. So I was on my own. But yes, I had a very supporting husband who was there with me, and he said, just pursue what you're most interested in. Go for it, that kind of a thing. And he gave me a platform in terms of continuing my teaching. Like, you could do what you want to do, which I did. And then he introduced me to Women Economic Forum, which was, he understood that I'm good at teaching, I'm good at talking to people. So he said that, why don't you do something which is more, not just teaching in the classrooms, in the closed classrooms or in the closed walls. Spread your wings, try to be a little bit more realistic, try to explore a little bit more. And it happened 3 years back when I got an opportunity to teach, not teach in a classroom, but teach in a forum, wherein I met a lot of women who were ready to understand and grab the opportunity, So I think that was my life-turning event in a way, because I was so used to teaching as well as kids from international schools. But when I met women, who were from different countries from all over the world, it was a completely different experience.
Right. So what did you learn about yourself making that big change into, out of this isolation of being a woman in a foreign country, and stepping into teaching other types of learners? I know we've spoken with a very interesting lady called Sabine, who supports families that are in transition into other countries, immigrants to other countries for work reasons or for whatever else. And I know it's a very big challenge when you are actually moving and you're a global woman moving from a country to another country. So coming out of that challenge and really orientating yourself, getting more network, and starting to apply your skills into other circles. What a great man it sounds like you have. Congratulations. What did you learn about yourself? What was the lesson, you think?
For me, the biggest thing was that I never knew that I could connect with women or connect with people who I don't even know.
Uh-huh.
All my life, I had been teaching students from different countries in different schools in Swiss Riviera.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, I can connect to people because I could connect to these students, but I never knew that I could connect with women who were looking for support, you know. So I don't even know. I can't even think how I became like a support system. I developed a support system for some women who were scared to speak or who were shy to speak. I would not say scared, but shy to speak and tell their things in public. So gradually, when I started going to these events, they started writing to me. We started getting in touch through WhatsApp, through FaceTime and things like that. And they would share things with me. And sometimes it was surprising that, they would call me at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock our time, which in Switzerland is like really late, So they would call and discuss and ask how I could help them out.
Wow.
So I learned this was a new discovery even for me, that I could connect and talk to anyone and everyone. I didn't have that, fear or phobia of just restricting myself. Even I started learning more and more.
Very interesting. So it's something about being able to expand your reach and your service, your help to other people, and that you didn't have this barrier anymore of who you know and who you're supposed to work with and who you're supposed to teach with. It was like you were able to be approachable to the rest of the world. Very interesting lesson for us all to know that there is a way to cross on over to the other side and meet even a stranger and make a contribution. So at 8 years old, Ruby, were you this wonderful, wise woman that you are now, or how did you see the world at 8 years old, and what would you tell that 8-year-old child self that you were at that age about the world? Like the fact that you can connect so well now, that you've been able to help so many women, and that you're this professional that you are. What did your 8-year-old see about the world, and what would you tell her now?
At 8, when I was a kid myself, I had that quality. I would always teach my grandparents, in our wall.
Wow.
I had a wall which my parents had painted like black, reddish black. So I would write ABCD and try to teach my grandparents, because my grandmother was not very well educated.
Wow.
So I would teach her, and she would be like, why are you so strict with me? I said, because you should know how to read and write. Tomorrow when you grow up, you will be able to support me.
Wow.
So she told me, I'm already grown up. I'm your grandmama, So how much more do you see me growing and doing something for the family? So I think I would say that I had that thing in myself, and even as I was a kid, that women need to be on their own. They need to be independent.
Wow.
They need to be educated. They need to be, I would say, self-sufficient, that they can support themselves whenever and wherever needed, because you never know. Right now you are having a great time, everything is good, touch wood, you're having a great life, but you never know if it's topsy-turvy, something happens, some untoward incident happens. So you should be strong enough that you can support yourself and be a support system for others who are related to you.
Absolutely. I so agree with you. And it's becoming a really pressing issue worldwide now, that it's really unacceptable that there are so many instances where women are just not given these opportunities, and that there's a lot of, I would like to say, even deception sometimes about the fact that we can expect a lot of things from men or from some other situation or some expectation that we have about the world rescuing us from all those fairy tales and myths. What do you think is the biggest lie that women live with in life? What do you think we deceive ourselves with, or we end up believing that's not necessarily true?
For women, sometimes I think it's important that they have to be very confident about what they are. The thing with women is, most of the time, even they know they are beautiful, they have those skills, they have those qualifications, but they're not confident that they can pursue it. So I think as women, we need to support each other in giving that self-confidence. Yes, you can do it,
Right.
Because if we become each other's support system, or we push each other in the positive direction, it's going to help more and more women, and they're going to be stronger. But the
Absolutely.
thing is, because of the thing we are always saying weaker sex or women can't do that, women can't do this. Well, you are young, you will get married, you will have children, you can't do it. Immediately we put that glass ceiling,
Right, right.
which I think is wrong. As women, you should never think of it in that way, because if you look at it, the other side, it's the woman who manages home as well as office, and
Yeah,
she does the balancing act pretty well.
yeah,
So women, they might look weak in terms of how they are, the structure, the physical structure, but they are very strong, way stronger than men, because they know how to handle these things and be calm.
yeah.
Whereas if you see sometimes men, it's very confusing for them. It's stressful. They stress. Oh, I'm leaving children with you for the day. I'm going to enjoy with my girlfriends. They're like, okay, okay, okay. They start feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Whereas as a woman, the support system is really strong, and we need to push more and more that women are able to see and believe in themselves. Yes, I'm capable of it. I can do it.
Yeah. And in Swiss society, would you say there's different kinds of programs or belief systems that people follow? When you look at the Swiss woman where you are there, do you see them suffering from the same kind of weaker sex idea, or do you see something quite different in that country?
Well, in Switzerland, there are women who are working more at counters and shops and restaurants. There are more and more women working. But the thing is that, the Swiss system is such that it kind of restricts women from working full time. Because the
Uh-huh.
schooling system is like that, the kid goes to the school and the kids come home for lunch in the public schools.
Right.
So which kind of pushes women to stay back or take a back seat in terms of, because they have to get their children, they have to prepare lunch for the children. If you have the support of your family or someone else in the family or someone in the neighborhood, then it's still okay. But otherwise, Swiss women I have seen in general, they are much more stronger in terms of having a strong support system to support each other.
Okay, interesting.
It's nice because you see less of men working in restaurants or in supermarkets. It's more women who are working practically everywhere, even in hospitals, in schools, in colleges. It's more women who are sharing the responsibilities.
Right, right. So there seems to be, as you know very well, the Women's Economic Forum spread out in over 100 countries. There's so many different networks happening around. Maybe you can tell us something about your network, and also share with us, what do you think about this rising awareness, this awakening of women in business, in politics, in decision making, and what are your thoughts and feelings about it right now? What do you think is important? Is there anything you would add to this debate that's going on, or movement that's happening about it all?
In Switzerland, as the chairperson of Montreux Swiss Riviera with Women Economic Forum, I have my network of women who are practically doing a lot of things. They're doing the balancing act pretty well. They are mothers, they are trainers, speakers, having a full-time job, some of them. So I think as women, it's important that the things that they are doing, they have to have a good balance between all the things, all the activities in a very strong way. Because what is happening is, when we talk about big terms like women empowerment, or when we talk about things like, we need to share responsibilities. We need to give more workload or more significant workloads to women. Sometimes it becomes too much.
Right.
We have to have a good balance. We should not make men feel that it's all about women and nothing about them.
Absolutely, and you remind me of something one of my teachers said back in Africa, that in the old days the women were cooking, taking care of the kids, they were doing the hunting and the gathering rather, the men were out hunting, and the men would come and sit after a day's work. And in fact it's around this ritual of drumming, the recreational djembe drum was actually invented in New Guinea, and it was very traditional that men would play it. And so there's been a lot of questions about why don't the women play the instruments, and this teacher of mine was telling us one day the answer, and he said, look, it's nothing about sexism or gender or anything else. The woman literally kept saying, we've got so much to do, so we don't have time to play the drums. You guys play the drums. And it's always remembered with a lot of laughter and a lot of kindness. to soften this edge that we have sometimes about things being so sexist, because you make such an important point that women really have a lot of roles that they play, and balancing them, they do quite well, but I know many get very stressed along the way, and you're catering to that need so intimately. So it's important that we do make sure that men are included, and that we are also very mindful about how the woman stays healthy doing what there is for her to do. So tell us a bit more about what you are actually busy with. What are you passionate about in your life right now, and what is your actual role in this women's movement and your professional role? How can we learn a little bit more about you and your professional life, your personal goals, and your personal passion?
As I told you, I'm a professor. I teach business management to students in masters, bachelors, as well as doctorate. I'm very passionate about teaching, and teaching has taken me to training and being a speaker. Like it just portrayed it just went off. It was not planned. I had not planned to do this in this manner, but it just happened. Mm-hmm. And now with the things that I'm doing, like I have a lot of small pet projects, I call them. And I have got this designation of social entrepreneur, which recently a Swiss entrepreneurial magazine in Zurich, they nominated me as most inspirational women entrepreneur.
Wonderful, congratulations, beautiful.
Thank you. And it was really wonderful because I did not know, why have been nominated? What did I do? And they said, exactly. When you just do things for the heck of doing, whether it's for society, whether it's for mankind, for women, or for yourself, you're not thinking, you don't have a planned, I would say, schedule or agenda. I'm doing it because I want to get this position, or I want to get this award. You're just doing. So here, once a month, I go to old age home. Sometimes with my children, sometimes with other women, I have a network of women wherein we try to do different activities like visit to old age homes, then teaching cultural language. Since, we are away from our own motherland, as we call India. So I believe it's very important, especially for children, to know their native language as well as culture.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
You might be staying anywhere in the world, but you have to have an idea and have a good balance, not just like, okay, I'm Indian. I've never told or restricted my children from following other cultures as well. Like living in Switzerland, we follow everything that we do, whatever customs they are having over here. But at the same time, we try to give cultural education, which is once a week, like every Sunday, I conduct cultural classes at my home, which is open for everyone. It's not just for Indians. It's open for everyone. And we do chantings, chantings for world peace.
Yeah,
and I explain them the meaning. Why are we chanting? What is the reason? Because a lot of people, they are very fascinated by Indian mythology. So they ask me, what does Om mean? Or what is that god with trunk, elephant trunks? So those kind of questions we discuss, and also about world peace, why there is pollution, what can you do? Sometimes kids, I have kids starting from 5-year-old to 15-year-old in that group. And sometimes kids ask, why is it when we go to India, we are always sick? And why it's so clean here? We can have the tap water, whereas in some countries we can't have tap water. Some silly things, which is silly for us, but very significant for them.
Of course, yeah.
So we discuss those kind of things in my cultural classes, which I conduct, and I conduct those classes completely free. We don't charge anything. It's just for moral awareness. And when we go to these old age homes, we do things like playing board games, doing yoga, because that's something very important. Just the breathing exercise, not something complicated. Just, you can be sitting, you can be standing, you can be anywhere, and doing those exercises, which makes you feel good, and trying to talk to them, listen to their stories, because they're very lonely. The people, old people especially, they are very lonely. And sometimes, I feel, I would not say low, but I feel very sad for them, especially because either they have some sickness or they can't connect with their own families. So they are here in these old age homes. So when I go there, some people say, why on earth did you decide to go and visit old age homes every month? Is it not depressing for you? I said, no, not at all. I feel so happy. And especially when I'm talking to them, French is not my first language, and all the conversation is in French. Believe me, Hellenic, when I first started doing it, I was scared. Like, can I do it? Can I really do it? Can I really continue going to these places where I just have to speak in French, even though I don't speak so well? But I was fascinated the way I carry on that conversation. It takes, we are there almost 2 hours, approximately 2 hours. And when I'm leaving, literally some of them, they are crying and they keep me
Wow.
hugging. They keep me hugging for some time. I'm telling you, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, my eyes are watering.
It's an amazing
So
feeling.
touching. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
To
an
be there
amazing
for others. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm just doing it because it brings me happiness. There's just something I like to connect even with people whom I know they're going to go soon. They're not going, and some of them have already passed away. I mean, I started this last year, and some of them they've already gone. But I remember, when I come, the way they hold my hands, and when I'm going, it's like they're like this. The fingertip is so. That's one thing which I do. The other thing which I'm very passionate about is dancing.
Oh, fantastic. I see it on your Facebook page. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it Indian dancing?
So I do, like, I did not want to do something complicated because people may not like it or may not understand it. So I do, that's called Bollywood Zumba.
Sounds fantastic.
So I choose any song. I choose most of the time Hindi songs, but sometimes I choose Spanish songs, Italian, you name it, we choose. But we do the mudras which are Indian, like steps which are completely Indian. So I just do it because it brings a lot of happiness. And people in my commune where I live, they heard a lot about Bollywood, but they had not seen what it is. So I said, why not? So I was the first one to start the classes here in my commune on Bollywood, and it's amazing. It's great. We are really having fun time.
Yeah, that's ingenious. I think it's a brilliant way to bring people to move and to really learn about India, but also mix with other cultural
Exactly.
teachings. And I mean, there's so much depth to Indian dancing as well. So people are getting a really fun way to actually go quite deep and get a great workout. So that's fantastic. I mean, it sounds like you're really, really busy. Your professional life, teaching, business, what would you say is the biggest area to really master in order to have successful business in the world the way it is now? I know there's many, but if you were to choose one.
I think connecting with people, anything to do with connecting with people. If you connect, because these days, as we say, it's the era of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
If you know how to connect emotionally with people, no matter which business you are in, you're going to rock. You're really going
so beautiful. Such great advice.
Because it's not like a master, do this. If you point fingers and make people do the task, they will do, because you're the master, you are their boss. But if you connect with them emotionally, you'll be surprised to know people even work more and harder because they think of their business as not your business, but something our business.
Yeah.
So anything and everything where we connect with people, where we bring people together, where we make them work as a family, it's always successful.
Fantastic advice, Ruby. It's been lovely to hang out with you. I really wish that we had more time at some point to go more deep into your business training tips, tools, where you can maybe also put out some of this knowledge that you have and support women in this network and others watching. At a future time, maybe there'll be a chance. But to finish off today, I want to give you the chance to finish, as all the interviewees have done, by choosing 3 words, either separate or connected, that for you are like a prayer to all the women out there in the world watching, all of those that never have the chance to watch, don't even have a computer. What would you say are the 3 important words or concepts that you would like the women to remember from you and your wisdom through your life?
I would tell all women who are watching me, never say never.
Haven't had that before.
You are great. You know you are great. You know you are beautiful. You can change the world. But if you give up, nothing's gonna work. So never say never. Keep striving. No matter the task is difficult, the situation is bad, but you have to be strong. Because if you're strong and you go on and on and on, you are gonna be successful. It might take some time, as I am a believer of karma. I say very openly and very clearly, I'm a strong believer of karma. If you keep on doing your best, without having any repercussions, I will be successful, I will make money and blah, 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 blah. It's not going to happen. Just do your best and leave the rest. And never say never.
Excellent. It's been beautiful, beautiful. I'm so glad we finally made it here together. Thank you for your time so much. And we'll put all your details on this video so that people can see your biography. But I assume that you're privately working, so people don't really come to you to work, but they can necessarily engage and follow what you're doing and see if there's a way to connect into the networks if they live in Switzerland, right? And then if they catch you at some event talking publicly, that would be a big, huge bonus for them. Thank you so much, Ruby.
Thank you so much, Elenik. Thank you. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.